So she just said to share something about our marriage, and I thought, we've been married 25 years. It's not really a long time. It's not really a short time. And you could say so many things about your marriage. And then she shared about our journey that we've taken. So I said, okay, that's where I'm going to go. So in 1991, we got married here in Norwalk. I was 22 years old, and we were scared because we thought, as soon as this ring goes on my finger, we're going to get stamped out. I just know it. And I thought I knew my husband because he was like the song leader, and back then it was really easy to lead songs. They were like your typical GC songs, not like elaborate now. And he was the outreach leader, he was a skit leader, he was a Bible study leader, he was the leader's leader, and he was a right-hand man, and he was everything. So I was like, yeah, he's faithful, he's loyal to the fellowship, he's got a great relationship with the pastor. I know this guy, that's the man of God. And so I married him. You better believe it, I married him. And I remember waking up the next day on our honeymoon, and I'm like looking at him, and I'm thinking, who did I marry? OMG, who did I marry? And so it was a learning process, and I think one thing that I realized is that we brought a lot of baggage into our marriage. I just had so many things that I had gone through and I didn't even deal with. When we're talking about Katie Sosa and your soul, my soul was broken down, my soul was beaten down as a child and as a teenager. So just because you get saved, it really doesn't make a difference sometimes. And so that's what I brought into our marriage. He had his things that I didn't know about. I was like, you're like this? Oh my God, where's the guy that song leads? Where's that guy? Where's that guy? He was not there. And so God is so good. So sure enough, a year goes, well, let me just share this really quick. 5 months into our marriage, women, please, when you communicate with your husband in the throes of passion, don't. Because he's not going to get you. You're in the throes of passion, and he's looking into your eyes. Only one thing is on his mind, not what you want to ask him. And I said, can we have a baby? And all I heard was yes, and I ran with it. Went off my pills, and I got pregnant, and I went to him, and he was like, you're what? I'm pregnant. I'm all happy, and we're 5 months married, okay? And he's like, what? Did we talk about this? And I'm like, yeah, we talked about this. We were in bed, remember? No, not a clue. So please, save that stuff for when he's like drinking coffee or something. He totally did not remember that conversation. So then there goes 9 months of me, my husband like, babe, I was imagining us going overseas together as a team and enjoying each other, getting to know each other. And, well, it was a done deal. It was a done deal, and I was pregnant. We had our beautiful son. He's 6 months old. Guess who gets to go out to another city, go out into a city? Yeah, we did. So they didn't wait a year into our marriage, but they waited till my son was 6 months. And they asked my husband, actually. They didn't really ask me because they kind of asked the husband back then, and then he tells the wife, she'll say yes, don't worry about it, which was true. And they asked him to take over our first church in Highland Park. It was already kind of an established, it was a baby church, and that pastor was going somewhere else, so they asked us to take over. And so we didn't really, I don't remember praying about it really. I just remember him coming home and saying, hey babe, you want to go to Highland Park? Like, okay. So we did that. We took over Highland Park, and 6 years we were there. And I tell you, that place, I learned so much in that city. A lot in my marriage, a lot I realized in my life that God, I can't change him, and nothing I say will change him, and nagging's not going to change him. It's got to be you. And I think in that 6 years in Highland Park, I learned that love covers a multitude of sins, and I learned to just really love. I learned to really forgive a lot. I learned to really just trust God and just cry out to God. Because trust me, ladies, we were pastoring, but I had his bag packed so many times. I'm like, get out, please. I can't. Sorry. I really did. I had his bag packed. It was like, here we are pastoring. And that goes back to what happened when we first got married. I really didn't know him. only knew him what he was in the church. And so 6 years go by, and Philippines pops up. And, we love our church. It's thriving. God has done so many things. We're everywhere, outreaching. We took our trailer everywhere, up north, down south. Everybody knew us, and we're just doing great things there. Then the Philippines pops up. Now, right before this happened, we were sitting at a November conference here in Norwalk, and I remember having, I'm going to call it an open vision because we were in conference, and this is what God showed me. I saw the Philippines. I saw Filipino people, and I saw pastors, and I knew they were from New Harvest, and they were sitting like how they used to line up on the stage giving reports, and I saw that, and I knew in my spirit, is there going to be a New Harvest Church in the Philippines? And believe me, I was the last person to think it was us. Okay, I really, really, truly was, because I knew we were young pastors, but I was excited, like, we're going to have a church in the Philippines. I don't know when, God. And yeah, like a year later is when they asked us. And really quickly, you need to understand, it was hard for me to go to the Philippines because I wasn't born there. And I was kind of rejected by that culture. I was rejected by my family. The Filipino people really rejected me. And so when that came up, I had to deal with those issues. Like, I had to go there and love these people when they hurt me the most. They hurt me the most. And I just laid it out before God, and I said, okay, we're going to go. And my daughter was a year old, and everybody and their mother said, you're going to take your baby to the Philippines, they're going to kidnap her, she's going to die, you don't know how it's like over there. I'm like, okay. I go, we're not going on a vacation. We're going to build the work of God. That's what we're going to. We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. We get there, and God's doing great things. We see miracles. I fall in love with the people, which is amazing. I would have Sunday school, and they wear flip-flops because it's so hot. It's dirt. It's all dirt there. So there would be like 20 flip-flops at the front porch, and all these little kids come in, and and they're barefoot, and it was just I don't know. Sister Nancy knows what I'm talking about. Then my husband gets really, really sick, and he was born there. And for 2 months, he was so sick. We didn't know what was going on with him. He couldn't breathe, and he would pass out. His father went with us. He's a retired doctor, so he would check him out, and he's like, I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't know what's wrong with him. We would pray for him. Long story short, he had to leave the country. He wasn't getting any better. We took him to Manila. He stayed there for a week. He went through big brain, PET scans and all of these different things, and they finally diagnosed it was in his lungs, and it was where we were living, and it infected his lungs. And we said, well, what can we do? What can we do? Well, you either leave the country or you take steroids and everything else for the rest of your life and hope for the best. So headship said, come back. And so that killed us. Come back? You're telling us we sold everything. We gave things away in Highland Park. We left these beautiful people, and we had to come back? And so that rocked our marriage again. It rocked everything around us. We felt like failures. We felt like homeless. And I remember driving away from our house, and all the little Sunday school kids, I will never forget that sight. I looked behind them in the van, and they were all standing there waving like this and crying. I cried the whole way to the airport. It was a 6-hour drive. I said, God, I don't even know what this was about. And he goes, George was just holding my hand, and we were quiet the whole time. Got on the plane, came back home. We couldn't even say this was home because we were homeless. We felt homeless. We literally left our heart there, because that's what you do when you go somewhere. This is where my heart's going to be. And so we were sitting here at conference, and George went to Pastor Sergio in the office, and he didn't really cry. Back then, he didn't really cry. Now he's a big crier. But back then, oh, man, he was like boogers coming down and everything. I'm serious. And he was pounding the table, and I'm like, oh, you're pounding Pastor Sergio's table. Please don't do that. And he was like, send me back. He was like, send me back, please. He was begging him, send me back, Pastor Sergio. Please tell Pastor Richard, send us back. and Pastor Sturgeon was a straight face. Now, Pastor Sturgeon was like my papa. I love him, okay? And he didn't even have any mercy on us. He didn't even like, not one tear. He looked at George, he said, nope, can't do it, George. We're not sending you back. Straight face. And we're like, okay. We're sitting in conference for the whole week. We're dying inside. I remember just crying every service, every preacher, just sitting there crying because nobody knows what we're going through. Oh, God, you're back. Hey, why are you guys back? Oh, and we're just like zombies. I'm dying inside. I felt like I was on the edge of a cliff and somebody just pushed me off. That's what I felt like. And I remember Thursday morning, they called us back into the office, and Pastor Sergio said, we've been talking about it. You guys need to go out again. And we're like, whoa, okay. And so we're thinking Puerto Rico. And we're like, Puerto Rico. Don't they speak Spanish, sir? Oh yeah, but it's an American Commonwealth, and there's American things there. They speak English. You don't sound confident. And but you know what we did? We went back to the hotel that night, and we said, yeah, we need to go out because we're going to die. We're going to die here. And so Friday morning we told them, okay, we'll do it. We'll go to Puerto Rico. Praise the Lord. George took some Spanish in high school and college, and we'll take it from there. We went to Puerto Rico. We were there in 2000 we went for about almost 3 years. And again, that was another place where God was taking things out of my life, things that I brought, the baggages that I brought into my marriage, and the things that my husband was going through. And it almost felt many times like I was alone. And here I am with my 2 kids now, and he's going through his thing. And God was just showing me so many things there. And then we were trying to build this church, and so many people didn't even speak English, and we were dying there. And God was showing things in my marriage. I'm like, God, are you showing things in my life, or are you trying to build a church? What are you doing? And I guess he was doing both. I just remember thinking, like, wow, this is a beautiful place. Okay, we're going to be here a while. We're going to be here a while. I know it. We're going to be here a while. And we get a phone call, like 3 years later, and guess what? Something happened. And they need a pastor. They need a pastor in L.A. And I'm like, what? Yeah, they need a pastor in L.A., and some of the people are asking for you guys. And as soon as they said, some of the people are asking for you guys, I said, then we have to go. Because I don't want anything to happen to those people. I know those people. So we packed in a week, and we left all this stuff on the sidewalk, and we dragged our little kids, and they couldn't help us. And we were carrying all this stuff because they were little. And we left Puerto Rico. We loved it there. We left this one man, Tito. I love him to death. He just said, you guys are killing me. You just fall in love with these people and you got to leave them. So we come to L.A. We're in L.A. Metro, and God did some other things in our marriage, more things in our marriage. And I saw the things that I was asking God for in my husband, I saw God doing them in his life there. Just so many things, and it was a difficult. That church, right, Aurelia? It was wounded. It was a wounded church, and we took it over. And we thought, oof, God, you really want us to pastor these people? They're precious, but they're hurt. They're hurt. They're never going to trust us because they were hurt by somebody they loved, a pastor. And we were there 5 years. Let me tell you, I'm so close to these people. Sister Nancy knows. We're so close to these people to this day. God took us on a journey there, and in our marriage, He took us on a journey there. And then after about 5 years, another spot opened up, and this time it was to be assistants. And we're like, I think we could do that. They needed us in Stockton. They needed somebody in 2 places. And Stockton came up, and we're like, okay, we've done missionary, we've started church, we took over. Well, let's try assisting. How hard is that? It was really hard. It was really hard. And now let me tell you really quickly, our church is fasting right now for 21 days. fasting. My husband, there was this time for a whole year, he tells everybody this, he loves to tell people, he fasted for me for 3 days out of the week. He fasted Monday, Tuesday, he broke it on Wednesday for service, went back on Thursday. He fasted for me specifically. We weren't married yet. He fasted for me, and I know to this day, for that whole year, when he fasted for me, he thought it was so that we can get married and God would do great things. I really believe he fasted so I could be a great wife. Because I've gone through so many things with this man, and I could have left so many times. I'm not saying he's like a terrible guy, but he wasn't bad. He had a lot of stuff. And I prayed for him. I learned to pray for him. I didn't nag him. I didn't tear him down. I didn't, so many things. I couldn't hold grudges against him. I forgave him over and over and over. And I know that fasting made me into a woman that could say, God, you're going to do something. You're going to change this man. So in Stockton, those 8 years, oh man, I prayed even more. I just learned to just bring everything to God. You just have to. You can't tell your husband these things. It goes in one ear and out the other. Really, I'm sorry. That's how their attention span is like this. God, you're bigger than me, so you can kill him or change him. I really did say that. I said that in Father's Park. Kill him or change him. I said I'm Puerto Rico. I'm sorry, Sister Anthony. I said I'm Puerto Rico. Kill him or change him. Philippines. And he never killed him. He got him sick. But anyway, so we're in Stockton, and we're like, wow, this is different. This is so different. And learning to be under someone when all those years you weren't. All those years you were able to say, we're going to do it this way, and hey, how about this, and these are my ideas, and we're going to lead. But to be just right there, not really leading, but not really, here. And so God taught us a lot of humility. He taught us within our own marriage with each other. And God, I just saw amazing things happen to my husband. All those years I sowed from when we first started pastoring, sowing into my husband's life. God, make him this kind of a man. I want this and I want that. I will tell you, ladies, that man treats me like a queen. He treats me like a queen. It makes up for those years that I sowed in tears, in pain, and hurt. God, he hurt me so bad. Right? Like some of our husbands hurt us so bad. And they don't even have a clue. They're sleeping. You just got to whack them. Man, you're sleeping? And I'm miserable. And I never whacked him. But now I'm telling you, this man, oh my gosh, this is the man I've been praying for. And the healing that I've seen in his life, the baggages, I know his life. I know how he was raised. I know the atmosphere he was in, in his home. I know those things. I know what it made him to be. And to see him flourish and in our marriage as a father, as a pastor, as a husband, I mean, he does things that, it's like, just to make it easier for me. He'll do something just so I'm comfortable, so it's easier for me. So how can I help you, babe? And he's asking me, how can I help you, babe? Oh, okay, I don't know, babe, rub my feet. He'll rub my feet. Read me, honey, can you just read scriptures to me? He'll read me scriptures. And so that's kind of been our journey. And then, I'm almost done. 8 years later, well, guess what? Pastor Richard shows up in Stockton out of the blue by himself, unannounced. And my husband was preaching that night, so I texted him, babe, red alert, Pastor Richard. And then, so Pastor Artie was like, hey, Pastor Richard wants to take us all out to dinner. All right, dinner, okay. So we're driving there, and we're like, what does he want to talk about? I don't know. Oh, my God. Maybe something happened in fellowship. Okay, yeah. They wouldn't really tell us, though. I don't know. Honey, let's just calm down. I'm like, it's okay. I'm like, it's okay, babe. He's like, no, babe. Something's going down. I'm like, honey, it's okay. We go in there. We order. They're talking about old times, laughing it up. And then we order our dinner, and our dinner comes, and we're like ready to take our first bite. Me and Pastor Richard ordered the same thing. I thought that was kind of cute. I'll eat tuna salad. And he goes, so the reason why we called you guys here, and he's eating away, is because there's an opening in San Pedro. All right, he's eating, enjoying, and we're like, okay, okay. And he's like, and he goes on and says, and your name came up. And that's where it felt like the ball came down and then the bomb just dropped on us. Like, what are you saying right now? I was literally like a deer caught in the headlight, like, what? Literally, I was like this. I was like, even George looked like that. We literally did not touch our dinner at all. And it was funny because Pastor Art and Pastor Richard kept saying, hey, you guys want that? We'll eat it. I was like, hold on, we're devastated here. Hold on, guys. I'm crying now. He's explaining the whole thing, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I picked my kids up again, and we moved again, and we planted them somewhere where they knew nobody, and you're asking us to do this again. But there was no anger, there was no bitterness, or anything like that. It was just like, I don't know, God. Can we do this again? Is it innocent? Are we good enough to take over this ministry, these people? And I know what God has given us through the years. I know what's inside of us. And I go, so my husband says, well, when can we tell you? And so Pastor Richard goes, tonight, later tonight. And we're like, and he's laughing. And we're like crying. We're like, really, Pastor Richard, you're killing us. And he goes, I'm just kidding, guys. That was one thing. He goes, tell me Sunday. I'm like, okay. Long story short, we're here. We landed. It's crazy story. Bottom line is, when you have a man of God, whether he's not what you want him to be, follow him, because he is connected to God. Follow him. I followed my husband wherever he went, whether he asked me or not. I said, let's do this. San Pedro, we talked about it. We really did. And we're just so blessed right now. I don't know. I'm just blessed.